Hi everyone. Today I'll be discussing the first program for ECE and the Civil branch. That is a program to find mechanical energy of the particle using the formula E equal to mgh plus of mv square. So the program aim is very simple. Using the given equation, we have to find the mechanical energy of the particle. So what is the formula given? It is E equal to mgh plus of mv square. Using this formula, we have to find the mechanical energy. So whatever the formula you are seeing here, the first part will be called as potential energy plus the second part is our kinetic energy. So when I'm talking about the potential energy, so I'll just take an example. Here a person, assume that a person is standing here holding the ball in his hand. So when he is standing, he will be having the ball will be having the some energy. He is not in movement, but he is having some energy due to the mass, gravity, and height. Here M stands for the mass, G stands for the gravity, and H stands for the height. Again, when the person starts, so this energy will be called as potential energy. I'm repeating once again here. The one person is standing holding the ball in the hand. He'll be having the ball will be having some energy due to its mass, gravity, and the height. And when the ball starts, the person or when he threw the ball, it starts moving. This potential energy, whatever the potential energy, it will be converted into kinetic energy, that is the energy in the motion, kinetic energy. So that kinetic energy can be calculated by the formula of into mass of the thing on the movement, and then mass of the person or the thing in the movement, and the velocity, square of the velocity. And when we add these together, potential energy plus kinetic energy, will get our mechanical energy. So this program is very simple. So we have to take the variables to store the mass of the person, height of the mass, height, and the velocity. And gravity, I'll be taking it as standard value 9.81. Using that, we have to calculate the mechanical energy. Now, let us code. So as I told, our C program starts with including the standard library function. So I will be including hash include stdio dot h, and then I'll be starting with the main function. So this mass, velocity, height can be having the fractional value. We can have the fractional value also. So I'll be taking it as float value. Float, mass, then height of the height, and then velocity. Now one more thing. So I took these values we are going to take from the user. And how we are calculating the energy? By first, we have to calculate the potential energy, then kinetic energy, and then we are going to add the potential and kinetic energy, right? So I'll take the variables to store the potential energy, to store the kinetic energy, and then to store the final mechanical energy value of the final mechanical energy. I'll take the value variable as ME. Now, what are the values I have to take input from the user? I have to take mass. So I'll just write enter the mass, height, and velocity. Again, now I'll be using scanf to read these values. So scanf format specifier is percentage F. I'll be reading the mass, height, and velocity values. So now, what is the first thing? I have to write the logic to find potential energy and kinetic energy. Right. So potential energy can be calculated as mass into m into g into h. That is mass into gravity into height. So where I am storing the mass in the variable mass and gravity, I will be taking it as 9.81, and then height I will be taking it as height will be stored in the variable called height. Clear? So now kinetic energy I'll be calculating it as of mv squared. So of I'll be taking it as 0.5 star. I'm storing the mass in the variable called mass and then velocity square. Clear? Now we have calculated our potential energy and then kinetic energy. Then finally what we have to find? We have to find the total energy, or I can call it as total mechanical energy. So how I am going to find it? By adding potential energy and kinetic energy. So I am taking the variable me to store my total mechanical energy, and how I am storing? By adding the potential energy plus kinetic energy. Finally, I have to display the output. So I'll be typing the message as the mechanical energy is. So where we are storing in me, so it is also a float. So percentage here. So this completes our code. Now we'll run this program and check whether it is executing properly. So first I'll save the program with the .c extension. So it's running with zero error, zero warning. So now I'll enter the mass as 12, height as 3, velocity as 10. So I should get the value near to 300 for the potential, and final total mechanical energy is 953.160. So first I'll calculate these 12, 3, 10. I'll use these values 12, 3, 10 and calculate the potential energy. Then I'll calculate the kinetic energy. Then I'll find the sum. So if you want me to do the tracing, let's see how it is working. So what are the values I have entered? I have entered the values mass 12, again height 3, velocity 10. So what is the first thing? Potential energy equal to mass into 9.81 into height. So what is the mass value I have entered? Well, and what is the height value I have entered? 3. So now when I calculate this, 12 into 9.81 into 3. So my value for the potential energy will be 353.16. And now, what is the next logic in the code? Kinetic energy. How I have to calculate? Zero point 0.5 star mass star velocity. That is zero point 0.5 mass velocity square. So now, kinetic energy equal to zero point 0.5 star mass star velocity square. Velocity square. So zero point 0.5, mass is 12, velocity 10 square is 100. So I can directly write, or I can write 10 into 10. So now when I calculate this, zero point 0.5 into 12 into 10 into 10, the value will be 600. The value will be 600. Now, what is the next thing? Mechanical energy equal to potential energy plus kinetic energy. So, what is the potential energy value I got? It is 353.16. And what is the kinetic energy value I got? 600. So, what should be my total output? It should be 353.16 plus 600, that is it should be 953.16. So now if I go back to my program, am I getting the same output? Right, 953.16. Since it is a floating point, I'll getting the floating values after the precision point. So 12, 3, 10. So potential energy I got 353.16. Kinetic energy I got 600. Then when I add, I got 953.16. So this completes the program for finding the mechanical energy of the particle using the formula E equal to of mgh let E equal to mgh plus of mv square. Thank you.